The Sig P365 SAS is the anti-snag version with the crazy bullseye sight on it and everything smoothened out. We'll start things off with full mag +1, which will give us those full 11 rounds in this itty bitty gun. We're using Sig P365 ammo. This sighting system is a bit of a challenge for me, so excuse me while I learn it. Got an ABC zone steel target at about 15 yards or so. Let's see how it does, keeping in mind that's roughly double the distance these sights were intended for. Worked. Amazing how controllable such a small gun can be. Who's hungry? We've got the dinner tray out because it's time for what's for dinner. Give you an idea of the 10 different loads we're going to run through these guns. Each load has a different recoil impulse, a different bullet profile. The different casing materials, such as aluminum and steel or nickel plated, all have different friction coefficients in being chambered and extracted. So that's what causes some of these rounds to work well in some guns, not in others. We'll see how this runs by running 3 rounds. We're looking to see, does it pick up from slide lock? Does it create enough energy to cycle? We verify that with a 3rd shot. And does it create enough energy to lock the slide back afterwards? Let's get started. So starting off, what's for dinner with our lightest load of 90 grain. This is the Winchester Super Clean. Little bitty lightweight load out of a short ported barrel. Is it gonna cycle? We'll see. And how well can I use this sight for shooting bullseye? That'll be an interesting challenge too. Here we go. This is with the finger rest magazine, which lets me get about 2.5 fingers on the gun. Gun cycled, locked the slide back. Hits were mostly to the left. That may be because I have to squeeze a little bit with this little gun. Next up, at 108 grains, is the Norma monolithic hollow point. Interestingly enough, the bullseye sights on this, and if you want a better image of those or view, check out the tabletop, but it's about the same size as the circle I'm shooting at, here at 7 yards. Violent recoil with these little guys in this gun. But it cycled, locked the slide back, and as you can see, grouped fairly decently. Now at 110 grain, we've got the Koenig jacketed hollow point. Never heard of this ammo before. It's been performing pretty well for us so far. If you have any experience with this, let us know. And I'm back on the finger rest magazine for circle number 3. Lock the slide back, no problem. Now at 115 grain, we've got Hornady's American Gunner jacketed hollow point for target number 4. And the flush fit magazine, so I'm down to 2 fingers and a dangling tea drinking pinky. Target number 4. Smoother recoil than the last round. Perform well, lock the slide back. Now at 115 grain, the Sig 365 VEEK round. This stuff was specifically formulated for the little 3.1 inch barrel in the 365. I've got my pinky rest mag back for target number 5. Quite a bit of percussion, but it ran very smoothly. And as you can see, slight air to the left there. Once again, that's probably me squeezing. That's what happens to me with small pistols like this, but ran great.
All right, next up is a 115 grain Blazer aluminum cased. I'm excited to try this. The sights are exciting for me. Although it is going to take some getting used to because it does cover your target. Next we have a Barnall steel cased full metal jacket. These are also 115 grain. Hopefully I was able to get used to the sights after that first one. It was definitely interesting. And next is Norma Hexagon 124 grain. I'll be shooting at circle number 8. Let's see where it lands. Next we have Federal Syntech 147 grain. These are the synthetic jacketed ones, which I kind of already just said. That was a flinch. And last we have the Stealth Subsonic 165 grain. Thanks for bearing with me. See where it goes on this one. Little bit better.
Looked like softer recoil.
It was a softer recoil. So for our 5 shots for accuracy, we're going to use the 365 Elite ammunition, 115 grain from Sig. And I will shoot the right circle square, we hope. That was better.
For my 5 shots from 7 yards, I also will be using the Sig 365 115 grain ball ammunition. It's interesting using this sight for precision application. It's obviously not meant for that, but gives a challenge on top of it already being a small gun. Left circle square. So something a little different that we're going to do, since it holds 10 plus 1 rounds, we're going to load 10 rounds, and from 7 yards, which is, according to FBI statistics, the distance within which most defensive shooting happens. From a low ready, come up and shoot doubles on a big white torso target using the sights. I want to try to get a flash sight picture using this sight and see at 7 yards, can this gun realistically work for my hands? And then Tia will test for her hands using this sight system, this Sig ammunition, and a pseudo-realistic drill. That's, after all, what this gun is designed for. This is meant to be a carry gun. That's why it's snag free. And I'm just curious, with such a small gun that really does shoot nicely for how small it is, if with this sight system and everything, it's going to work out for us. So take a look at our torso at 7 yards and we'll see how we do. I'm going to start from low ready and pop up and give it 2 each time, hoping to have a reasonable speed and reasonable results. This is the first time we're attempting this with this gun, so you're seeing it live here. They all seem to hit. Vertical stringing error, which is generally the result of not knowing the trigger, which is true. Don't own this gun, haven't been shooting it for years, so not quite the trigger pull that I'm used to, but it worked. And each time I was doing that, I was coming up, getting that bullseye on there and squeezing. So with that having been done, the sight system does indeed work. I gotta say, the tritium fiber optic combo was excellent. We're in a gray Oregon November day and it's screaming at you bright green. Really catches the eye. The gun shoots very smoothly for how small it is, and I'm pleased that by the end here with that vertical string, you could tell I wasn't too far left off, which tends to happen with large hands and small guns. Usually, to give you an idea here, when your whole hand isn't able to grip and you get nervous, you kind of squeeze and that ends up throwing the gun to the left. It's an error that I still work to overcome all the time. But I'm pleased with this gun. It ran everything we put through it, even stuff that aren't necessarily ideal for it. And the sighting system is different for sure, not without merit. It is the lowest snag sight system I can think of that is still usable. So good job, Sig. These ports, are they working? Well, we saw some fire come out of them. We can see the barrel is filthy after just the brief shooting we've been doing here this morning. So you know that gases are coming out of there, and that's probably part of what's helping fight the flip on here. Overall, I'm pleased.
All right, so I'm going to do the same drill that Graham was just doing. I'm not as experienced at doing this drill as he is, so I'm going to give it my best. As you've seen by now, I don't shoot as fast, obviously. So I gave it my best. What I didn't do was ensure that I had a good hand fit prior to exercising that drill, mostly because of nerves. It's not an excuse, it's just something I have to work on. My impressions of the Sig prior to doing any filming, I familiarized myself with the weapon a little bit. I didn't enjoy the trigger at all. It was uncomfortable, almost to the point of being painful. But over the course of the What's for Dinner and accuracy, I've come to enjoy it. I like the way it fits in my hand. The recoil isn't too much. The sights do give me a little bit of trouble, but that's nothing that can't be overcome. I don't know if it's something that I would want to invest the time in to overcome. But overall, the gun performs well, it feels well. It would make a great carry gun. I would be more comfortable with it if the sights were something that I was more used to before that I purchased something like this. Overall, great day with Sig.